Happy Tuesday, everybody. We're continuing our conversation today about supporting our midlife women through their transition, but also around the transition. Like menopause is just one day of many in our midlife period, and there are nuances and caveats and special considerations to exercise sort of from the ages of 40 all the way to the ages of 60 if you're training women, which we're going to discuss a little bit today. We're going to talk about reducing their stress burden, not adding to it. And yes, it's possible to reduce stress and improve resilience to stress through exercise, but the reverse is also true. It's possible to add to her stress burdens, and it's possible to boost her cortisol through exercise too. So this is a it depends scenario, and there are, as I said, special considerations to take into account if your woman or female client is in between the ages of 40 and 60 especially. So even before she's approaching menopause, we need to be thinking of these things. So a couple of examples of how it's nuanced is, you know, exercise is really only going to work to reduce stress if it's fun. If it's something she hates, it's not going to work. So you do have to be client-led to a certain degree on what she does on any given day. Like I've been flogging the horse, you know, heavy weights, heavy weights, heavy weights. If she hates heavy weights, don't make her do them because they will add to her stress burden. And the second example is, you know, the research for HIIT training shows that it's an excellent stress reducer. However, some women will experience panic attack-like symptoms, and if they truly feel panicked during the session, it's not going to reduce her stress. It's going to have the opposite effect. So, I mean, why does it matter? Why does it matter? Like, so your session is adding to her stress load. Why does it matter? Let me tell you, women generally, this is a generalization, but it's supported in the data again and again and again. Women experience more stress throughout the lifespan. Particularly in this midlife period, stress can alter their hormonal balance. And this is the simplified version. Especially if they have children at home. Cortisol, our main stress hormone, is supposed to rise and fall during the day, but in midlife women, more and more, it's sort of coming up and staying up. And then if you hard exercise on top of that, you can boost it even more. Now, if you're under chronic stress, aka motherhood, this elevated, prolonged period of high cortisol can contribute to systemic inflammation in the body. Now, what does that look like? It looks like autoimmune disease, memory problems. Have we all heard of the mummy brain? Brain function problems, fertility issues, a kink in her cycle, dysmenorrhea, which is painful cycle. What else? Reduced immune system, her heart health will suffer, her gut and bowel health, there's usually an implication there too. Women, it's not an accident that women between 40 and 60, that's the time they get diagnosed with autoimmune disease. It's also not an accident that twice as many women than men have an autoimmune disease. And it's also not an accident that autoimmune disease is flared up by stress. It's one of the contributing factors. So women are especially vulnerable. It's a complex topic. We don't have to know the ins and outs to know that we can tweak our programs for our midlife women to reduce their stress. So number one would be to train, if you're going to train hard, and you know you're going to boost her cortisol if you train hard, anything over about 70% VO2 max is going to boost cortisol with a significant boost over 80%. So if you're going to do that to your midlife female client, first check if she's just one of the 10% that doesn't have any stress. Two, run her through a questionnaire to see if all the stars align, then she qualifies to do it. So she slept well, she's hydrated, she's eaten enough calories for enough time, etc., etc., etc. If all the stars align, go for it, go hard. But if she's like the 80% of us, then the hard training, if you're going to do it, you do it first thing in the morning when her cortisol's supposed to be up. You do it for less than 20 minutes. So go hard, by all means, but do it early and do it short. Then use the rest of the time you've got with her to bring it back down again. So bringing it back down looks like lying down, deep breathing, yoga style movements. Okay, so just let me check I've read all I wanted to say. Yes, keep it short. Okay, with strength training in particular, low volume, so 3 sets or less, high intensity, which means heavy weights, so 6 reps or less, and long rest periods does not give you that cortisol boost. And added value is, we know in midlife bone density, muscle mass become a big concern for women. They will have an enhanced effect on those 2 parameters too. So that's super exciting. If you've got hour-long sessions and you've been filling them with interval training, you can stop and do heavy weights instead, if it's fun for her. Other ways to reduce her stress in her session include getting outside. So just seeing green or seeing blue, like the ocean or the bush, have a major therapeutic effect on brain and hormone health. Including meditation or mindfulness in your session. Unfortunately, with meditation, what I've read is more is better, but I also read that as little as 3 minutes starts to turn the curve, so starts to slow the production of cortisol and stress hormone. So anything is good. Any meditation, any mindfulness is good. Deep breathing exercise, so that's teaching the diaphragmatic breath. I call it an intercostal breath, that one. Nice, deep, slow ones, not what I just did, has been shown to have an immediate effect on stress hormone. So, I mean, that only takes a few minutes. You can do it at the beginning, at the end of your session, even if your sessions are only half hour. And finally, the biggest way you can make your sessions hormone friendly are to make it fun. Make it fun. If she loves a circuit class and your personal opinion is circuit classes are terrible, do the circuit class. She likes it. It makes her happy. If she wants to walk along the beach, but you think she should be doing heavy weights, you do the walking on the beach. That's what she likes. That's what she enjoys. It makes her, when you honor your female clients like this, it actually makes them more receptive to what you want to introduce later down the track. If you know she should be doing weights, you don't have to do it today. You can be working towards that over time. You're better off making her laugh, introducing her to friends, giving her an experience that makes her feel fulfilled, loved, nurtured, part of a community than you are by being rigid with your training rules or techniques. 3 sets of 10 isn't going to work for her if she hates it. All right, I know I said that twice, but it's important. If you have any questions, I'll be back on Tuesday, and feel free to message me in the interim with those questions, and I'll answer them in the live on Monday. I'll see you next week.